Hello, and welcome to my channel. My name is Jonathan Cohn, and today I have my book review of the book The Icarus Twin by Timothy Zahn. This is part of his Icarus Saga of stories. Now, some background on this publishing is that back in 1998, I believe, Timothy Zahn wrote and released the novel The Icarus Hunt, which was just a standalone novel. It kind of featured the kind of mystery box storytelling that he's a big fan of. And it was very successful. I believe it was a USA Today bestseller. I don't think it was a New York Times bestseller, but it was a USA Today bestseller. And it's actually done pretty well, and I believe of his non-Star Wars books as a single novel, I think this is his most successful. So people have been clamoring for sequels, for more books in this universe, and he finally figured out what he wanted to do with it. However, he switched publishers. This book was written by Bantam, and for some reason, the sequels were not published by Bantam. I don't know whether Bantam said, no, we're not interested, or whether Tim found a way to circumvent them. I don't know. But the sequels aren't with Bantam. Instead, they're with Baen Books, which fans of my channel will know is a great publisher who's really kind to book reviewers. And so last year in the summer, we had the Icarus Plot release, which is the first book in the Icarus Saga. The way we view this is in terms of release, in terms of like when you're counting them numbered wise, this is the first book in the Icarus Saga, and we're viewing the Icarus Hunt as a prequel. That's how Tim described it to me in my interview with Tim Zahn, which you can find on the channel. Just look up Timothy Zahn interview Jonathan Cohn, and you'll find it in the YouTube search bar. It was a great interview that I had with Tim, and in this book, this is the first book in this Icarus series that features new characters of Gregory Rourke and Celine, the Collodion, and they are two trailblazers who are basically sent on various missions. And I enjoyed this quite a bit. I had problems with it. I thought the third act got too crazy, but generally I really enjoyed this book. And then we had the Icarus Twin come out here in December, and I was very lucky that Baen Books sent me an advanced review copy this time, so I was able to review it early and read it early before the book publishes. This book is a very much a puzzle box book. These two lean into the puzzle box element much more than the original. If you've read the Icarus Hunt, you might think, oh yeah, I know the mystery box storytelling, and it's present. It is much more present in these two books. And interesting, when I went through my notes with my problems with the first book, they're almost the exact same with the second book. And the things that I praised about the first book are the same things I praised about the second book. So Timothy Zahn is pretty consistent, at least, with the way he writes. The first thing I'll quickly note, this is a nice cover. This is an interesting cover. But to me, it looks like that's BB-8 upside down from the sequel trilogy. I don't know. That's what that formation makes me think of. Anyway, I would have, because we know Book 3 has a cover that has Gregory, and it has Celine and another character on it. So I'm wondering, why did they do like a character poster for Book 1, and then they decided to go with the more sci-fi look for Book 2, and then they're going back to the character poster for Book 3. I don't understand that, but that's what they're doing. And of course, Gregory is first person in this book, and the twists and turns are ridiculous in this book. Ridiculous in a kind of a good way. I still think it's too much. I think that Tim Zahn makes it too complicated and too difficult to follow, but I still think that it's super entertaining. This book very much is a mystery of they're looking for these portals that can be used by the Icarus group, and which is why this whole series is called the Icarus Saga. They're working for the Icarus group, and they're looking for these portals that they can use. And as part of that, someone pops up who has information. But this basically causes a big confluence of events that makes it difficult for Gregory and Celine to go searching for portals, and instead they have to go on a bunch of side trips, which all tie into the portals at the end. And they are basically have to work with a bunch of bounty hunters and these guys who are basically mafia guys, and they're kind of captured and kidnapped, and shenanigans ensue. But they do eventually go looking for portals, which is the main premise of the book. And the mystery is wrapped in mystery and wrapped in mystery. It's like when you peel back one layer of the mystery, you realize there's two more underneath. And so you peel back those layers, and there's two more underneath, and you just keep peeling back. And the twists and turns, every page towards the last 100 pages of the book just feel like you're being like shocked in another direction, and you're revealing all this information. And there's a big cast of characters, and because of that, there's a lot of twists available, and it's really hard to follow all of them unless you're really paying attention. I read this in a day for two reasons. One, I was super into it, but also because I wanted to make sure I finished it. But if you're kind of just casually reading about this, if you're kind of just, following along and you just decide to pick this up and you're not really invested, you run into a problem. You may run into a big problem because it is so twisty and turny that you may get frustrated and you may get confused even at points. But I still think it is a entertaining book. I still think it's well done, especially for someone like me who I enjoy mystery box. I don't want that all the time. I read mysteries. This is way more complicated than an average murder mystery. This is way more complicated than that. But I enjoy mystery box storytelling occasionally. I don't want it regularly. So these books come out once every year or so, maybe every couple of months, and I think that is a good average. That is a good rate for them to come out. And I'm okay just doing one book every quarter that's a mystery box or something. So I enjoyed the Icarus Twin. I think that Gregory, of course, gets the lion's share of the character development, and I liked him. I also liked we get to see Jordan McKell and Ixel present. They're a lot of fun. I also enjoyed Celine, although for some reason it's super obvious that Rourke and Celine should be in a romance together, but for some reason they aren't, and I don't understand that entirely. I don't know whether Tim is afraid to write a romance or just totally not interested. I, as a fan, am interested. I want a romance between Gregory and Celine. That's what I want, and it seems to me that it's obviously there. It seems to me that it should be there. The way that Gregory treats Celine, the way that she treats him, it should be there. But for some reason it isn't. So it's just kind of weird. But I really enjoy them as characters, and I'm hoping that we get more of that in the future books. The next book is called The Icarus Job, and it comes out in, I think, March. And then we have The Icarus Changeling coming out in July. And then I don't know when the next couple books are. But Tim actually dropped the names of all the Icarus Saga books that he plans, and he talks about all of them in our interview that I did. So again, I'm going to plug that interview. Check out my interview with Timothy Zahn, where we talked about all of his books, really, but specifically we talked about the Icarus Saga, which was a lot of fun. So if you've read the Icarus Twin, let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below. If you've read any of the other Icarus books, like the Icarus Plot or the prequel, the Icarus Hunt, let me know your thoughts on those as well in the comments section down below. But until next time, I'm Jonathan, and thank you for watching.